Y'all, it's Jessica. I'm back with another video, y'all. I just got out the shower. I'm about to trim my daughter's hair. But when I was on the phone prior to getting in the shower, the Lord had reminded me of something that I completely have forgot ever happened. So I've been living where I'm at for 2 years, 2.5 years now. And my very first, an apartment, you get rounds and rounds and rounds of neighbors. My first round of neighbors, we started off very well. I had an overflow of furniture and I had given them like couches and ottomans and beds and all that, right? But at some point, I don't remember exactly what happened, but there was some type of um, friction with them, like where I think one of them had got a new girlfriend, and before it was a mother, father, and the son was there, and I think the daughter too as well. And the daughter had a baby daddy, whatever. But yeah, it was a ton of people. But one of them had got another girlfriend, and I think it was the son had got another girlfriend, and the mom and dad. But something had happened, and one of them had made a comment about me, like this old raggedy AB with the ponytail when I was, walking outside one day. And I got so angry because in my head, I'm like, I'm from the hood. I'm not from this hood, but I'm from the hood. And I'm like, I know I could win. You know what I mean? So that's where I was at mentally. I was like, I knew I could win, but because I have been following the Lord, I'm like, well, I can't fight. You get what I'm saying? I can't do anything to really defend myself. So it happened as I was walking. I think my daughter was like 8 months max. And I'm walking to the car and they had made this comment. So when I get in the car, I just start venting to the Lord. I'm like, man, I don't like how she did that. I'm not feeling that, Lord. Because, back in the day, I would have just hit her, no questions asked, right? And then I said, let me just, forgive her and keep going, right? So by the time I dropped this baby off at daycare, God said, you're going to go and you're going to walk up the stairs and you're going to look her dead in her face. Like God was very particular on these instructions. He's like, you're going to look her in her eyes. You're not going to look to the left, to the right. You're not going to look at the ground. You're going to look her in her eyes and you're going to say, I do not want any problems with you. But if we're going to have them, I'm going to go the full way with you, whatever. I told her, I said, I'm going to protect my home until death, if I must, right? And she said, okay. And that was it. Now, before I went up here, and mind you, I did not want to do this for many reasons. One, when you have a history of like something violent with the law, they're going to lock you up and throw away the key. So that's one thing. Number two is I have a baby here, Lord, and I also live here, Lord. And I was like, Lord, I don't want it to be uncomfortable. And the Lord has said, well, you're already uncomfortable. She made it uncomfortable when she did this comment at you. And this is now your safety is, at risk. And God was like, if you had a husband, I would have sent your husband to do this. But I'm going to tell you to go up the stairs. Now, mind you, God had been talking to me this whole car ride home. And God was like, I'm going to have you go up the stairs and say these things and I will back you up. And I said, back me up how, Lord? How are you going to back me up? Like you're not physically there for her to see. So like, come on now. So I was like really like skeptical of doing this. And by the third time of the Lord saying, when you get home, I feel like, I don't know, some people from the hood, like your mom will be like, you're going to go fight them. And if you don't go fight them, then you're going to have to get a whooping with me. So I kind of like felt like that with the Lord. And I'm like, Lord, okay, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do what you say. And I went and I said what I said. Long story short, they ended up moving out. The specific person that made the comment with me ended up moving out. Everybody in the whole apartment moved out, but the daughter and her boy and her baby daddy, right? And the kids. So God will, if he's telling you to go somewhere and stand on whatever he's telling you to say, you best do that. Because if anything, if somebody is making your workplace uncomfortable, your home uncomfortable, he will move them. I had a recent situation where one of the people closest to me was practicing divination. So I'm like, man, the attacks were getting ramped up. And I told the Lord, I said, I really don't want to be here. I feel like I've been suffering for over a year due to them doing this practice, right? And I thought my first neighbors were bad because they were domestic violence. They got 5 kids in a 3-bedroom and it was just real ghetto, real not demure. So the next neighbor I got was divination, right? So, and I noticed that I was being gang stopped and stuff like that. But anyways, so God kept telling me, do not leave, do not leave. I'm telling you. And God had basically pressed in my spirit, if I did not tell you to move, you're not going to move. If anything, they're going to have to go. If anything, they're going to have to move out the neighborhood. If anything, they're going to have to quit their job. If anything. And God will cause us to be so uncomfortable when it comes to an opponent, an enemy. But if he's not telling you to leave, I kid you not, I have seen people in my job get fired after making me uncomfortable. I have seen neighbors leave after making comments at me. I have seen neighbors be moved. God will move them before he moves you, okay? But that now, if God's telling you to leave, then you leave. But other than that, God does not want his kids to be like in such situations to where we're confined and we're scared to do this and we're scared to do. I'm not going to lie. When that situation happened with my neighbors, I was fearing for my own safety. I was fearing for my daughter's safety. And I did not want any. I said, Lord, I don't want any problems. And God said, she brought the problems to you. So I'm going to tell you what to say. You go and say, and I'm going to back you up. But I'm like, Lord, I do not want to go to jail. Like, so bad. But I trusted that. And I said this before, and I'm not encouraging you to be violent. But when I was walking in ignorance and the lack of knowledge, I had got arrested 2 times. And each time God bonded me out. Now, when I say God bonded me out, I mean quite literally, I did not make a phone call to call anybody to let them know I was even arrested and I got bonded out. That was the first time. Now the second time, he sent 2 strangers that didn't even know me to sign on my bond, and my sister covered it. So when I say God will, and I attacked people, I'm going to say I did a thing due to spiritual warfare, seeing, into the spirit, seeing the spirit in behind the person made me run up on the person, thinking that I wrestle with flesh and blood. But then I learned after that, we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, principalities and all that. I'm like, well, she got a demon and what's up? If I beat her up, then her demon loses, and it does not work like that. But anyways, long story short, yes, if God is telling you to stand your ground, stand your ground. The Bible also says to obey the law of the land. I don't know about y'all, where y'all at, but in Texas, if 2 parties consent to fight, then you can legally fight without anybody going to jail or prison. That's in the state of Texas. I don't know. If someone enters your home and you own the space, they say to send off a warning shot first. And then after that, it's grass. It's grass after that. You done already sent off the warning shot. They didn't leave. What does the Bible say? To obey the law of the land. Another thing is, remember I said down to the heart posture. Are you trying to unalive them? No, just hit them in the knee. You get what I'm saying? Just be mindful. Thou shalt not kill, right? Let's be mindful. But if God says otherwise, then I mean he's all right. Yes, mutual combat. Thank you, Tony. But yeah, breaking news, God's party. Okay, anyways, I don't believe that. So, anyways, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Stand on business. Stand on business. Stand on business. See you later. Don't forget to order the anointing oil, the lip glosses, book the one-on-one calls, email me at propheticjess@gmail.com. And I'm about to do my daughter's hair. All right.